quarterbacks, one a seasoned veteran and the other a freshman.
We've got one of the oldest players in the country from experience standpoint and one of the youngest, and Chucky Keaton at Utah State. This young man, now mind you, today will be his 12th game since 2012. Has battled through knee injuries, tore his ACL, was injured again last year, that same knee. But he's got a unique trait to him, and that's his creativity at the quarterback position. But keep in mind, there's a true freshman, Jake Browning. This young man, this is only his third game in the history of his college career, but this young man has dude qualities written all over him. He can make every throw, a dynamic player. And Kevin, he threw 91 touchdowns in high school. He's accustomed to throwing the rock. I think today they open it up a little bit.
I have a lot of freshmen on this ball club, including Browning. They started 8 true freshmen against Boise State in week 1, including Miles Gaskin, who's a very durable young runner.
Well, he's an explosive running back. Really went off a week ago against Sacramento State, over 140 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns. This young man has great patience, but more importantly, great vision. Now, they're going to start Dwayne Washington, but you're going to see Miles Gaskin today in the running game. You're going to see a lot of guys in the running back. Even Jeff Lindquist, the quarterback, will get in this running game. It will allow Gaskin to have more holes opened up because this defense will not know which back or what scheme will come at them.
And then the receivers, they are quick, some of them experienced, including Joshua Perkins. He's been around a while.
Well, Joshua Perkins is a matchup nightmare. He's playing tight end, but they like to flex him out. Really big matchup issues going up against this Utah State defense. They like a lot of nickel. And keep an eye on number 1, Jadon Mickens. They're going to try to feed him the rock this afternoon. He's probably their biggest playmaker. And for them to win this game, they've got to stretch the field.
And they'll need that senior leadership, the seasoned guys, to take on this Utah State program that has been to 3 consecutive bowls. We're back with the kickoff in a moment from Husky Stadium on the Pac-12 Network. Welcome in, everybody, to Pac-12 football, presented this afternoon by Barbasol here at Alaska Airlines Field at Husky Stadium. Yogi Roth, Kevin Calabro, and Lewis Johnson standing by with an update on some of the Utah State Aggies personnel.
Yeah, Kevin, back in the first week of August, Utah State head coach Matt Wells, suspended 3 of his players for violating team rules back in the summer. Now, they served 2 games of suspension so far this season, and here's the update on where they are right now. Bryant Hayes, the senior cornerback, and Tyshawn Mosley, their sophomore offensive lineman, will not play today. But the good news for the Aggies is that Hunter Sharp, he led the Aggies with 66 catches. You see all those receiving yards, 7 touchdowns. And this young man had 4 straight games with 100 yards before the game. And he said that Sharp is going to give them that explosive play opportunity that they'll need today. And as for Hayes and Mosley, well, if they do all that's asked of them, of the university and the football coach, then they'll be back on the field. But for now, they'll watch. Great news for the Aggies. Hunter Sharp is back.
Looks very much for the comprehensive report. Matt Wells in his 3rd year as the head coach of the Aggies at Utah State, taking on this Husky ball club, standing 1-1 on the season, with Jake Browning, Peterson, on the road against Boise State. First time a freshman has started in an opener for the Huskies ever. When you consider the great quarterbacking lineage here at Washington, that says a lot.
Oh, it says a lot of his ability, the way he's competed, but the storyline today, make no mistake about it, is youth versus experience. Utah State is the 8th most experienced team in the entire country in all of college football, and when UW gets on the field, they're young everywhere. There'll be times on offense where only one player, their center, will be a junior or senior, so the experience of Utah State will be a factor this afternoon.
Tristan Vizcaino, the sophomore from Chino Hills, California, getting set now to kick off for the Huskies, who won the toss, deferred, and will be kicking to the Utah State Aggies. Taking it out of the end zone is Jalen Davis. Has a lane to the 20, and he's mowed over at the 19-yard line. Chucky Keaton, the 5th-year senior, comes out onto the field. He was nicked up in a loss to Utah last weekend, but worked out all week. You can see his numbers, a couple of touchdowns, 3 interceptions. You got to go back a couple of years, Yogi. You and I were talking 2012, 13 starts, 27 TDs, 9 interceptions because of multiple knees injuries and surgeries. The last couple of years, he's just now starting to get into a rhythm.
Well, he had a Heisman campaign going, and he earned it. This young man's been playing well since the day he arrived on campus.
From Houston, Texas, in the gun on first down to get things started. They swing it out to Lawan Hunt. He's got a first down or more across the 30, And it's chopped down near the 37-yard line.
When you go back and you watch this team play in the game against Utah, went back and watched it this morning. They're not afraid. They're going to go after it. They've got playmakers on the outside. They're going to try to take some shots. Keep in mind, first-year offensive coordinator Josh Heupel came from Oklahoma, where they really spread it out. They love to get the ball on the perimeter and test this young secondary.
Buda Baker, you'll hear his name repeated throughout the afternoon, comes up to make the stop from the safety position. He is a sophomore from right here in Bellevue, Washington, across the lake. Movement across the front line. It looks to be against the Aggies. And the big man on the end, Jake Simonovich, the junior from Danville, California. So the Aggies penalized.
This defense for UW, they will be fresh. They will be bringing guys off the edge. They played 29 players against Boise State in week 1. Played even more last week.
Keaton goes to work, 2 men in the backfield, and he'll hand off again. This one to Lawan Hunt, who is knocked down near the 35-yard line.
Keep an eye all afternoon for Corey Littleton, number 42, right at the bottom of your screen. He's probably their most active player on defense. Very quiet personality, but he can come off the edge, played a lot of football, 113 tackles heading into this game this afternoon.
Feeney, Victor, Bieria, and Littleton, the linebackers for Washington. 2nd and 12. Keaton the handoff to Hunt, gets a block, drags a tackler across the 40-yard line. He's going to be shy of the first down. Azim Victor, the first guy to get to him, the sophomore from Compton, California.
Going to be really interesting to watch how they use Chucky Keaton in the run game in situations exactly like this. 3rd and short. When he's healthy, when he's fresh, he's dangerous. You go back and watch the tape a week ago, he got banged up against Utah pretty much all game long.
Keaton sends out trips to the right. And now brings a man in motion, Devontae Robinson. The handoff is to Hunt, and he is knocked down well short of the first down. Great pressure up front. Keyshawn Bieria getting there first, along with Elijah Qualls to stop the gap.
Interior defensive line. They've been really impressive this year. Elijah Qualls, Greg Gaines. They play a lot of different players in there. Qualls filling in obviously for Danny Shelton, who has since left first-round draft pick in the National Football League. But they've liked his productivity dating back all the way to the spring when he kind of took over that role.
Dante Pettis is back for Washington, the sophomore from San Clemente. A flag flies.
Timeout.
And the Huskies need a timeout. You mentioned the youth of Washington. Utah State has great seasoning, Yogi. 4 consecutive bowls. They've won the last 3. Matt Wells, you see there, in his 3rd season. 9-5 with a 7-1 Mountain West Conference record and a win against Northern Illinois in 2013. And then last year followed that up, Yogi, with a 10-4 season, 6-2 in the Mountain West.
Well, he's one of the top coaches in the country. You look at what he's done there, and really it's special. He played there. He said he loves walking through the halls every day. He's motivated as ever, really wants to get that conference championship, but took over when Gary Anderson left and went to Wisconsin a couple years ago. And we asked him about his philosophy. He said, coach him hard, love him even harder.
Aaron Dalton, the freshman from Bountiful, Utah, on to punt. He averaged nearly 42 yards in punting against Utah in the loss a week ago. Dante Pettis is back. He can go. This is a wobbly kick that flutters down near the 23-yard line, and that's where the Huskies will go to work. Kick of 33. Take a look at Jake Browning and his accomplishments to this point.
I thought he really settled in last week. You know, the Boise State game, they didn't try to throw too much at him. They come out first play of the game, take a shot down the field against Sacramento State, move the ball to a variety of different receivers, variety of different types of passes. I think he's going to continue to grow in this offense. This is a young man who's accustomed to throwing the football. He's now got to be accustomed to seeing a variety of defenses, because today will not be a clear picture for Jake Browning. Utah State will be disguising their defensive fronts and their blitzes all afternoon.
They'll bring numbers. You can see him jump around. They show 6. Now they show 5 across the front. Handoff on first down. Dwayne Washington gets the start this afternoon. 6'2", 226. Quite a contrast to Myles Gaskin, who was the starter last weekend. He is 5'9" and maybe $180.
Yeah, and Washington, he can hurt you in the screen game too. Leading receiver heading into this game for UW. I mean, he's a big back. He has the explosive side to him. Last year, a bunch of explosive plays, long touchdown runs, trying to get the run game going a little bit, see if he can suck those safeties up. And I would expect UW to take a shot early down the field.
Gain of 1, 2nd and 9. Browning, quick drop, has a man, slanting here to the near side, miscommunication. Braden Lenny has turned in, the pass was out. And an incomplete pass, and 3rd and long, something Jonathan Smith, the offensive coordinator, said we have to avoid today against Utah State.
When you watch Jake Browning on film, he's a phenomenal pure progression passer, and that means he can go from 1 to 2 to 3 as well as anybody. Watch his tape in high school, that's where he thrived. Watch him in college, that's where he's had success early on. When he's got to make reads on a defense, that's when it gets a little cloudy.
3rd and long. Let's see with Jonathan Smith and company dial up. Browning will drop, hard rush, steps up in the pocket. He's going to be dragged down near the 19-yard line. There's the pressure that Yogi alluded to, and it was Torrey Green who came in off the outside linebacking position to get him.
Well, you see the left tackle, number 72. That's true freshman Trey Adams. This is his first career start playing that left side. They said in normal pass protection, they're not worried about him. But when things get chaotic, when there's havoc, a variety of blitzes, defensive linemen stemming and moving at different angles, they're worried. That's a great example. No one was on him at the beginning of the snap. Then all of a sudden pressure came. He was late. They got to Browning.
Corey Durker will punt. Hunter Sharp is back. The man who's been suspended the last couple of games, activated today, and he's mowed down at the 30-yard line. Outstanding play by the Huskies to get down in coverage. Looked like it was Jordan Miller who got there for the tackle. No score here from Husky Stadium. And Utah State will get the football again. What word would you use to describe the performance by Utah State against Southern Utah? Dreadful would be an adjective that comes to mind, Yogi. 1 of 15 third down conversion, punted 14 times.
Yeah, I mean, that is an embarrassing start for anybody to play that way on third down, and they know that. And clearly they adjusted a week ago against Utah. Had every chance to win that game. It wasn't two late turnovers in the fourth quarter. So I'd expect them to do well on third down this afternoon if they can do well on first down. Make it easier for Chucky Keaton in this offense.
Lawan Hunt, Devontae Mays, the 2 men in the backfield. Little delay. The handoff comes to Devontae Mays, and the Huskies immediately sniff that out, and they throw the Aggies for a loss. Azim Victor came up to deliver a shot, and he had a committee with him, including Travis Feeney.
And exactly right, Travis Feeney. He started his career at the deep safety spot, then moved outside linebacker. Now he's playing the quote-unquote buck position. Holy Kakaha led the nation in sacks at that spot a year ago. This is a young man whose athleticism jumps off the chart. Talking to NFL scouts on the field in pregame, he's why they are here today to watch this senior hybrid and outside backer.
Chucky Keaton goes to work on second down, scanning across the middle, pass complete. But again, the Huskies are there to make contact on the underneath route of Andrew Rodriguez. Keyshawn Bieria comes up to make the stop.
Okay, check this one out. Beria is going to be in coverage, but again, watch Travis Feeney. Here he is. He's just going to drop a little and settle in the zone. He understands his job. He understands what he's to take care of. Bang, they'll allow that to happen all afternoon. That's an easy pitch and catch. Keep it in front of you, 3rd and long.
3rd and 12. Keaton is back, looking long, near sideline. Pass broken up, intended out there to Hunter Sharp, and a flag thrown late on the play. Sidney Jones, the sophomore from Diamond Bar, California, was there stride for stride.
Pass interference, defense number 14. Ball be placed at the spot of the foul. First down.
Remember, you can have your hands on a wideout up until the ball's in the air. What they're looking at is the right arm. If your right arm as a corner is around the hip, they're going to call that.
Yeah.
You know, they just are. I don't agree that it's pass interference, but the way that the play is called, that happens every time at every level of football. So a great play by Jones, but that's going to get called every time.
Aggies trying to take advantage. They go underneath a little late developing screen to the left side, and tumbling down is Andrew Rodriguez after the catch, and a pickup of nearly 9 on the play.
You'll see his hand. See that? His right hand goes around his waist. The hand warmer gets grabbed a little bit, and they're just going to call that one. But the secondary, the corners, they're a strength of UW. They love being out on an island against this receiving corps.
That was a first down, a gain of 10, so Keaton goes to work. Fakes the handoff, takes the ball back, and then plows across the 45-yard line. And man, he took a shot.
Watch his knee, his left knee. This is what got hurt in the game against Utah. And this is scary right here. I mean, it gets hit exactly on that left knee. He took a helmet right on the kneecap, played through it the rest of the game. A heroic effort in Salt Lake City a week ago. Almost led him to win, but this is a guy whose grittiness just is off the charts.
Kevin King, an excellent tackle, brings up second. The handoff to Sharp. He works to the left side, and he is knocked down at the line of scrimmage by the Huskies, who've been very active up front. Vieira in again on the activity. Chucky Keaton now visibly limping out on the field.
Oh, and you hate to see that. He's everything that's right in college football. From an academic standpoint, as a student athlete, as a playmaker. I mean, keep in mind, his first start of his career, he goes to Auburn, almost leads them to an upset back in 2011.
Had 18 TDs, 2 interceptions in 2013 before he literally tore up the left knee. In game 6, he's back to throw. Miraculously, he's got some mobility now and throws here to the near sideline, but took a shot after delivering that pass. And he is sprawled out on the field in front of his own bench. Steps up and hobbles back to the bench. Corey Littleton in hot pursuit.
I'll tell you what's obvious from watching a couple drives so far is the speed, the team speed of UW. I mean, they have that extra gear when it's getting after Chucky Keaton. All of these linebackers, from Travis Feeney, Corey Littleton, Vieira, Azim Victor, they can hit that button. They've gone, and he's not really getting around an edge.
Aaron Dalton on to punt. And again, a wobbler, Dante Pettis. We'll watch this one roll out of bounds inside the Husky 20-yard line. No score early here on the Pac-12 Network. Welcome in, everybody, to Seattle, Washington. Pike Place Market, also known as the Public Market, downtown Seattle. Here at Husky Stadium, no score, Utah State and the Washington Huskies. And we welcome in that crowd that have been watching Oregon and Georgia State. On to quarterback now, Jake Browning, the freshman from Folsom High School in Sacramento, California. Huskies go to work from their own 17-yard line. Browning back to throw on first down, and the pass complete on a slant across the middle to Braden Lennius. 6'5" target out of North Vancouver, British Columbia.
And that's where Jake Browning's perfect, a rhythm pass. And he's doing it with an offensive line that are a bunch of new faces. Not even guys who started in the first 2 weeks of the season. I mean, we're talking Trey Adams, we mentioned him earlier. He's starting, the true freshman at left tackle. You want to keep an eye on him. Gave up a sack earlier, but he's got big-time potential, pure NFL body. And this kid is huge, 6'7", over 300 pounds.
Out of Wenatchee, Washington. Here's the handoff on first down, and it comes to Dwayne Washington, who got the start this afternoon for the Huskies. Let's take a look at our Reese's Perfect Combination.
Well, it's Dante Pettis and Jadon Mickens. You know, we're with these two young men during training camp, best of friends. This receiving core, if they want to compete in the Pac-12 North, they've got to make plays. They've got to find explosive plays. They struggled a year ago. They struggled thus far this season.
Toss to the back, then to Browning, and then on up the field to Darrell Daniels, and a completion to Daniels. It was Marvin Hall who caught the pass, swung it back to the quarterback, and then on up the field to King.
Oh, this is beautiful. I mean, right on cue. Explosive plays. Here we go. Throw it back to Jake Browning. You'll see Daniels right underneath. He's probably their best athlete overall on offense. They want to get the ball in their playmakers' hands. Jonathan Smith, offensive coordinator, opens it up early.
Marvin Hall, the senior from Los Angeles. Nice arm. And a big pop up front on first down. Getting the call was Levon Coleman, the sophomore from Lompoc, California. Time now for the La Quinta keys to the game.
Well, for Utah State, they got to really pressure Browning. I mean, they got to bring it from a variety of different angles, because if you give him a clear picture, he can deal. And for UW, I think they got to open it up. I know they want to run the football. You got a young offense, but I think you got to take some shots just to loosen up this defense.
Jeff Lindquist, the quarterback, will hand off to Mickens. He tries to get free. On a reverse to the far side, and he is knocked down near the 46-yard line.
We'll see Jeff Lindquist throughout the rest of this game, throughout the season. Just gives him a different change of pace. He's a captain. I think they would have loved if he won that quarterback job just because of his legs, his ability. But in the throw game, Jake Browning's accuracy is just that much better. In the throw game, his understanding of the throw game. But they're going to utilize number 5. You'll see him make plays all year long. I mean, he's over 250 pounds. I mean, he is an absolute load.
Mickens and Pettis come to the near side of the formation. Mickens in motion through the formation, and Browning back to throw on a screen up the middle. And this is good for Husky first down. Dwayne Washington on the delay. Gathers it in and gallops across into Utah State territory.
But when you have a young offensive line, you know the defense is going to peel their ears back and bring pressure. Utah State does, so they just go with the screen to their leading receiver, and away they go. Dwayne Washington, they've done this time and time and time again. Again, I think Jonathan Smith, the offensive coordinator, great timing with not only the trick play, but that screen to take advantage of the aggressiveness of the defense.
First down for the Huskies. And they go heavy formation to the left of Browning. And they'll sweep the ball that way. And this is Washington with a stiff arm and then across the 35-yard line. Wayne Washington weighs 226 pounds. He can deliver a blow out there. 697 yards a year ago. He led this team in rushing. He's had a nice career here at Washington as well. The junior from Lakewood, California.
And really impressive with his hands. In high school as a wideout, had 66 grabs his senior year for over 1,300 yards. So he's a dynamic back. Reminds you a little bit of Eddie George. He's so tall back there as a running back.
Again, they toss it to Washington. Looks inside and decides to veer outside and is brought down on a nice open field tackle. Torrey Green had leverage over there and made the tackle.
This is the young offensive line right here. They tried to pull their backside tackle, Trey Adams, and the middle linebacker, Nick Vigil. He's probably the most active player for Utah State defensively. His brother, some of you can remember him. He's now in the National Football League. Zach, playing for the Miami Dolphins, and kind of just following in this linebacker tradition here for Utah State. Bobby Wagner, everybody knows him, obviously here in Seattle for the Seahawks. But a lot of talented players in this front seven.
3rd and long now for the Huskies and movement up front. And flags fly.
Offsides defense, causing the offense to react. 5-yard penalty, remains 3rd down.
And that's a point of emphasis from the officials. And I'm sure Chris Peterson, you meet with the officials before the game, you remind him of that a little bit. This young offensive line. I mean, really, when you look at it, the guys that haven't played a lot, they're going freshman, sophomore, then on the right side, redshirt freshman, redshirt freshman. So this Utah State defense is going to try to use some tactics to draw them off sides a little bit.
3rd and 6, multiple formations, multiple personnel for Chris Peterson, 8 years at Boise State. That was a trademark, and so it is here at Washington. Little back shoulder flip by Browning way out on the far boundary, and that sails over the head of Lennius. The crowd wanted, and the reaction was they wanted interference. Deshaun Hines was in coverage, the cornerback.
Well, these corners, they're physical. Uncatchable in that regard. It's going to be a physical game outside. These receivers are going to have to earn it because I like these corners. Deshaun Hines, he's a big guy, transfers to San Mateo Junior College on the other side. Jalen Davis. He was a freshman All-American. He's returning as a sophomore, so he'll be active out there.
Cameron Van Winkle is on. He hit field goals of 40 and 28 against Boise State. Missed a 46-yarder, which would have tied the game and put it into overtime. But this one from 48 yards away, he drills. So Cameron Van Winkle, the youngster from Falls City, Washington, puts the Huskies on the board. They lead 3-0. Pac-12 football is presented by Barbasol, America's leader for a close, comfortable shave. Now with rust-proof aluminum bottoms. Clean, crisp Coors Light. And by Dr. Pepper. Dr. Pepper and college football, it's a one-of-a-kind tradition. The big wheel down on the waterfront here in Seattle. And this is Lake Washington. Looking out toward the east from Husky Stadium. Folks out there in their... Well, you don't see a rowboat out there, do you? Those are big yachts, Yogi. That's a big-time crowd out there. And here at Washington, the students yet not in school, but a great audience here to meet the young Huskies who stand 1-1 on the year. They lead it 3-0 on a 48-yard field goal from Cameron Van Winkle. Tristan Vizcaino will get into this one. Hunter Sharp will take it in the end zone and a touchback. Let's go to San Francisco for an update now from Anthony Herron.
Kevin, this Trans-America game break takes us to a top 20 showdown between Auburn and LSU. True sophomore Leonard Fournette with an emphatic 40-yard touchdown run. He got this one to the house, a 24-7 lead early in the third for LSU. Fournette already 198 rushing yards.
Thank you, Anthony. Chucky Keaton got rattled on that last series of downs, but is back and out on the field. You're not surprised.
No, but I hope he's healthy. And you know that Matt Wells wouldn't put him out there if he wasn't. And Chucky, he's one of the tougher guys in college football. And the thing is, when he's even not at 100%, he's still ridiculously dangerous.
Keaton on first down, swings a man out of the backfield. It's Hunter Sharp. They're going to try to get him loose. He eludes a tackler and sprawls ahead across the 30-yard line. Watching Chucky Keaton during the timeout was Lewis Johnson.
Kevin, fair to say there were some tense moments here when Keaton limped off the field. Matt Wells came back to check on his quarterback. Trainers were all over him looking at that right knee. Then they went to the travel bag, pulled out the brace. You see they put that brace on the right knee. Keaton got up and threw some balls. The backup warmed up a little bit, but Keaton, as you can see, back out on the field.
Thank you, Lewis. Flag on the play.
And it would be interesting if he does not play, or even if it's a couple snaps. You know, talking to their staff earlier this week, Kent Myers, he's the sophomore.
Formation, offense, 5 men in the backfield, 5-yard penalty, remains second down.
Kent Myers is the sophomore. They're going to try to redshirt him if they can. So it'll be interesting to watch throughout the game. If you got to spell Chucky Keaton, do you spell him with the Oregon transfer Damian Hobbs, or do you bring in Myers and burn that potential redshirt?
Dax Raymond, a freshman from Provo, will check in to get Andrew Rodriguez. It'll be 2nd and 7 for the Aggies. Keaton looking long near side and throws this one incomplete. Miscommunication as Keaton was looking long and Hunter Sharp had turned in near the 35-yard line.
No foul for intentional grounding. Number 26 was in the area.
Well, they're trying to get slant and go with Hunter Sharp, and he just ran the slant. And you know, you have to attribute some of that to him hasn't played. You know, Hunter Sharp has been suspended for the first 2 games, the violation of team rules, as Lewis mentioned in the open, but he's back now, and he's a big play potential guy.
66 catches a year ago for Sharp. So it brings up 3rd and long. Keaton sets, fires a bullet over the middle. That is complete and maybe very close to the first down. Depends on the spot of where Andrew Rodriguez made the catch. That's going to be a first down by the nose of the ball.
Throughout this quarter, it really looks like UW's game plan, keep everything in front of them. Rush 3 or 4.
On first down, they go again to the ground. Devontae Mays. A pickup of a few on the play. Chris Peterson, now in his 2nd year at Washington, 8 great years at Boise State. He just realized his 100th victory in the final game of last year, the win against in the Apple Cup, Washington State. 100 wins and 117 games that he has coached. Amazing. Here to the near side. They swing it out to Hunter Sharp. He got rattled. Ball is free. It looks like the Aggies have recovered in front of their bench. Dax Raymond jumped on it.
And Utah State, their offensive coordinator, Josh Heupel, they know with the speed, the athleticism of UW's defense, they got to get rid of the ball quickly. They go with the bubble screen. 3 blockers out there. UW rallies to the football. Sharp puts it on the ground.
How about Sidney Jones doing it by the book, man? Wrapping up.
He's gifted.
Putting a helmet on the leather. Nice job. So it brings up 3rd and 7 now for Utah State. And they're going to need a timeout. Quarter comes to an end. Utah State football, but a Washington lead 3-0 here at Husky Stadium in Seattle on the Pac-12 Network. Pac-12 football is brought to you by Clean Crisp Coors Light. With great beer comes great responsibility. And by FanDuel, the leader in one-week fantasy football. Huskies on top 3-0 of the Utah State Aggies, who have the football to begin the second quarter of play. They have now posted 3 consecutive scoreless quarters, the Aggies have. In the second half against Utah, 3 3-and-outs, an interception, and a fumble. They've already punted twice today, so Matt Wells, the head coach of Utah State, will again summon his veteran, down his 5th year, Chucky Keaton, back out onto the field. Keaton goes to work on 3rd and 7. Has time. Throws a wobbler, and that's nearly intercepted as it sailed over the head of Devontae Robinson.
Everybody talks about the players that UW lost a year ago. Look at number 11, okay, Elijah Qualls. That's called push up front. This young man has gone to work in the offseason, heeded the advice of the players who are now in the National Football League. I mean, he's got a motor about him. He really does. He's got a burst. He's a low center of gravity, but he knows he's got to carry this defensive front. And look at that last snap. That is textbook right there. And he's been coming all first quarter.
Aaron Dalton again to punt for Utah State. He's not hit a ball square today. That one is a little better this time. And it is fair caught by Pettis of Washington at the 20. Washington on top 3-0 with possession when we come back. Pac-12 football presented by Barbasol. Huskies on top of the Utah State Aggies 3-0. Just underway here in the second period. Look at the first quarter numbers. Washington -4 on the ground, 44 yards total, 48 yards passing. You look at the third downs, 1 of 4 for the Aggies, 1 of 3 for Washington. And Chucky Keaton and company with 5 more plays from scrimmage.
These are 2 really good defenses.
Yeah.
You know, they really are. UW, with what they lost, the way they played throughout this year, I mean, it's 7 now scoreless quarters in a row. You go all the way back to the halftime in the Boise State game in week 1. So these are 2 defenses, and of course Utah State, if you just follow college football, they've been stout since Gary Anderson was there. This is what they do up front, especially in the front 7.
Daniels and Perkins load up to the right of Browning on first down. Steps up, dirty pocket, throws on the run to the far sideline and threw it away. David Moala applies pressure up front, the senior from Inglewood, California, 6'2" and 300 pounds, coming at Browning, the freshman.
It's a young offensive line. You know, we've talked about it's kind of the theme right now. You know, you look at the right side, it's redshirt freshman, redshirt freshman. Jesse Sosby, Caleb McGarry, they're now that starting right side, and there's going to be pressure coming. And just the strength, the sheer veteran seniority strength that's on Utah State's side, it's showing up at the line of scrimmage.
Look at Coleman Shelton as they go to work and try to work the boundary to the near side with Miles Gaskin, but he ran out of room. Nick Vigil came up to make the stop. Boy, did he ever.
Little juice down there.
Well, you mentioned Vigil. His brother Zach plays in Miami for the Dolphins on Sundays. 25 tackles the last couple of games for him. 3rd and 11. 3rd and long again for the Huskies. Will the Aggies bring the house? They stunt, they loop, they bring 5. Browning reacts beautifully, flaring it outside of Washington for the first down. He's across the 40. High step into the 50. Dwayne Washington has space ahead and into the end zone. Touchdown Huskies. 81 yards, Dwayne Washington. How about Browning's reaction to the pressure, Yogi? Beautifully done. 81-yard catch. Touchdown run, Dwayne Washington. And Van Winkle make that Vizcaino on to add the extra point. Well, it is Van Winkle. And it's Huskies 10, Utah State nothing. Dwayne Washington, the acceleration and speed to the end zone, and the Huskies leading 10-0.
Welcome back. UW up 10-0. But check this last play out. Jake Browning's job as the quarterback is to look at the boundary safety, the boundary outside linebacker. That's going to tell him everything, where pressure is coming from. They look like they're coming. A lot of times when it looks like pressure is coming, it's not. No pressure comes on 3rd and 11. And for the second time on 3rd and 11 this ball game, Jake Browning absolutely takes the check down, takes what the defense gives him, does not freak out, quiets his mind, slides in the pocket, understands where he needs to read to know where pressure is or is not coming from, and clearly makes Utah State pay with a big-time completion and then a touchdown.
Hunter Sharp to bring it out for the Aggies. Has a lane across the 30, bounces out 35 to the 40, off to the near side, hesitates, nearly stumbles, and he's dragged down into Husky territory inside the 40-yard line. Well, it didn't take Hunter Sharp long to put a fingerprint on this game with a lovely return.
Well, we talked about it in the beginning of the game, right? This is the 8th most experienced team in the nation, and they get Hunter Sharp back, a senior. They just simply respond when adversity happens. A big return after a huge play for UW, and now they've obviously crossed the 50, knocking on the red zone.
60-plus yard return there for Hunter Sharp.
And they need him. They need players to make some explosive plays. Struggled in the first 2 weeks, struggled at Utah last week. Hunter Sharp's a big reason when the ball's in his hands that this team can have success.
Suspended the first 2 games for violating team rules. Off to the near side on first down. Lawan Hunt is summoned. And he is swarmed under inside the Husky 40-yard line. A gain of maybe 1 or 2 on the play. Brings up 2nd and 8 now. Chucky Keaton, very deceptive. 60 career touchdowns. He has tied the school career mark set by Jose Fuentes in the late 90s. Needs 1 for the record this afternoon. He stands still in the pocket, throws to the near side, releasing out of the backfield Lawan Hunt, and he is chopped down near the 30-yard line, very close to a first down for the Aggies. Darren Gardenhire comes up to make the stop from the cornerback position.
Playing a lot of young guys here in the back end as they change the tempo.
A little quick shot up the middle. Lawan Hunt plows ahead to the 25. Travis Feeney comes up to make the stop. First down now for the Aggies.
Utah State, a variety of different tempos they've run, and we haven't seen Buda Baker in it all on this drive.
Keaton on first down. He's going to go to the air, and it's nearly intercepted. In and out of the hands of Darren Gardenhire, who was right there looking it into the midst, but it would not stick. Keaton got away with one there.
His ability. Clearly he wants that one back. And I'm sure he might get a little ribbing from his cousin, who, by the way, is Dwayne Washington, who had the long touch. I like the corner position here. They got a lot of depth. Kevin King, Gardenhire, Sidney Jones. 3 of the more talented corners in this conference.
And Buda Baker, who you just mentioned, a sophomore. Keaton goes to work, and the handoff is to Mays. Bounces off the pile, turns to the near side, and is able to get across the 10-yard line. Gardenhire again came up to wrap him up that time, but what a reaction that was by Mays. It got stopped initially and then bounced it outside, Yogi.
Well, Mays is the thunder, really, to Hunt's lightning. You know, he's a big guy. See him change the ball. That's exactly what you're taught to do. Try to get a little contact so you can get an extra one at the end.
They go power, and they go back to the big man. He plows across the 5-yard line. Devontae Mays has gotten Utah State down to the threshold. Azim Victor came up to make the stop. And Utah State with an answer here after the 81-yard touchdown run and gallop by Dwayne Washington. Matt Wells has him second down, goal to go at the 4.
And they've done a nice job on film of scheming defenses down inside the 10-yard line. Did a great job last week against Utah on a wheel route for a touchdown.
Keep an eye on Brandon Swindoll wide to the right. They hand off up the middle. And again, this is Mays. He is dragged down. And JoJo McIntosh comes up from the corner to get him.
Biggest thing you want to do here is just get the ball out of Chucky Keaton's hand as fast as you can.
Mays, the lone man in the backfield. Sharp, the man in motion to the near side. Keaton looking that direction. Pump fakes, throws back in the end zone, sails over the head of Hunter Sharp. And again, pressure applied up front. Elijah Qualls, your man up there, Yogi, pushing it back.
Well, this is the defensive front right here. They just roll. You'll see him. Here comes the snap, and it's just pressure, pressure, pressure. And they may not get a sack, but you hit the quarterback, you affect a throw. That's almost better than a sack. And talking to defensive coordinator Pete Kwiatkowski, that's what he talked about. How many times can we just affect a throw? Receivers wide open, pressure there, the ball sails.
Brooke Warren is on to kick. The junior from Hyde Park, Utah, a 22-yarder in his sights, and the field goal is good. Utah State is on the board, trailing 10-3 here at Washington. Stick around with the State Farm Halftime Report with Anthony Herron, Jake Plummer, Nick Aliotti, and Ronnie Lott back in the Pac-12 Network studios. They'll take a look at that Oregon win over Georgia State. Ohio State challenged by Northern Illinois, and thoughts on the first half here, and a lot of college football from around the country. 10-3 here in Seattle. The Washington Huskies leading the Utah State Aggies. Big for Utah State to at least get something on the board, Yogi, after Washington's Dwayne Washington went 81 yards with that pass reception for a touchdown. Chico McClatcher, great young freshman, and back for the Huskies. McClatcher with vision and the head up, spins across and gets Washington into excellent field position with a return of 30. Take a look at the Red Vines' sweet moment.
Well, you see Jake Browning, he just climbs, slides to his pocket, takes his check down. That's the quarterback's best friend. Check down city, and then his running back does the rest. Oh, by the way, leading receiver of this team, Dwayne Washington, 81 yards. This team is seeking explosive plays, looking for players to step up and be those types of guys. Dwayne Washington, he was that last year. He was that thus far in this ball game.
And the Huskies defensively on the last possession of Utah State hold them to 3 points, obviously, after Hunter Sharp goes 65-yard in the kickoff return to get it down to the Husky 40. Jeff Lindquist is back in the lineup, the man with the wheels at quarterback. Across the 45-yard line, and a gain of 6 possibly on the play brings up second down. Lindquist from nearby Mercer Island, Washington, 6'3", 245.
And they said in pregame he'd be a little over 250. I mean, and this young man, known him for a long time. He's perfect for a college football program. He defines what it means to be a student athlete. He's doing everything right already in the graduate program. He's a perfect example of what Chris Peterson is trying to build here at the University of Washington.
Second down and 2, thanks to Lindquist. And on second down, they go to Miles Gaskin, who is dragged down just across the line of scrimmage. Filiunga with a stop. LT, a transfer from Utah.
Well, this defense, they do such a great job with their hands. You watch that front seven on the offensive line, on running backs, they just keep everything away from them. They just bench press that offensive player so they can have some vision and be able to go inside or outside and make a play.
Torrey Green, the linebacker, came out to make the initial stop. Utah State needs to call a timeout. They were trying to get Green off the field, then decided to send him back. And they did a head count. They didn't have enough on the field. So they have to burn a timeout here in a Husky 3rd and 4 situation, leading by 7 when we come back. More great Pac-12 football headed your way next. Most of you will see San Jose State and Oregon State. Viewers on Pac-12 Washington will see Wyoming, Washington State. And then later tonight, number 20 Arizona will host Northern Arizona. All can be seen coming up next on Pac-12 Network, Pac-12 Now app, or pac-12.com. Stay tuned for Pac-12 final score then to wrap up your day in football. Third throws near side. And the slant caught by Braden Lenius for a first down, and the Huskies move the chains near midfield.
Great Washington, we give him a lot of love for that 81-yard touchdown, but his pass protection on the last snap is what allowed the completion. Just taking on the edge rusher, put his hands right in his chest. Those little things is where this team needs to continue to grow. Pressure will continue to mount, I believe, as this game goes on.
Browning, the true freshman. Settles in, steps up, checks down, throws near side. And the man, again, coming out of the backfield was Washington. This time, Utah State gets to him. Daniel Gray, the junior from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, made the tackle but lost his hat. He'll come out for 1 down. Gray had him, and then Kyler Fackrell came up to finish him off. 2nd and 9. Gray got shaken up on the play. Browning loads up to the left side, fakes the toss that side, then rolls out to the near side. Beautifully diagrammed play. Making the catch was Darrell Daniels, the 6'4" tight end, and he is deep into Utah State territory.
Keep an eye on Kyle Fackrell, the defensive end. He rushes all the way down. Saw him at the top of your screen. It's a simple naked play. That means you fake the run, you come out the back door. That's how you create clean images for your quarterbacks. A very aggressive Utah State defensive front. Kyler Fackrell, one of the more aggressive players in their entire conference. As a defensive end, kind of hybrid player, he comes racing down the line. Great fake by Browning, and easy completion.
Jadon Mickens is joined now by a freshman, Isaiah Renfro, on the wing left side. They throw over the middle to Jadon Mickens, the senior from LA. Tumbles down short of the 15-yard line, but that is enough for a first down.
I mean, it's perfect, right? I mean, that's exactly what your coach should do.
Browning, quick hit, left side. Mickens gets a block downfield, mows across the 10-yard line, and he's inside the 10.
Well, the staff told us yesterday they wanted to get number 1, The Rock. They said we need to get him more touches. He's got playmaker ability. You find him on the slant, you find him on the bubble, find yourself moving the ball.
They'll come out down on 2nd down now, and 2. With the ball resting at the Aggies' 8-yard line. Jeff Lindquist, the quarterback, will fake the handoff. He'll keep, and he's knocked down just shy of the 5. This will be very close to a first down. Nick Vigil came up to make the stop. That's 235 on the 250-pound quarterback, Lindquist.
And his plan will evolve as the year goes on. He will throw the ball a little bit. You're not just going to be able to expect him to run every time.
Well, that is absolutely as close as can be down there. Maybe by a whisker they missed the first down. They're going to bring the chains out to take a look. Well, we'll straighten it out. The Huskies are short by about half a length of a football. So what's Jonathan Smith, the offensive coordinator of the Huskies, dial up here if indeed they are short of a first down and come up with 3rd and short?
Keep in mind, it's such a young offensive line. It's not as though they've been dominating the line of scrimmage all day long. If I'm them, I'm going just quarterback sneak. Jake Brownie's get up in the line of scrimmage, take it, see what we can get.
McClatcher and Lennius, the 2 wide. Browning quickly to the line of scrimmage under center. A surge, he goes off right tackle and is knocked down.
He got it, but you know what he's going to learn on
Wow,
film?
that was close. He hesitated, didn't he?
Well, that's what you're taught at the quarterback sneak, is this: hesitate for a moment, take a little hesitation step, they call it, allow everything to be clear, and then go to one of the A gaps. He went to the A gap. That's the gap between the center and the guard. What he is to learn, he's got to be a little bit lower to the ground. And when he's a junior, it might be a little bit different. This young man's still a
Well, a first down for the Huskies. And the officials sorting it out here.
Timer. Please change the game clock to 6 minutes and 18 seconds.
Huskies got on the board to begin this game with a 48-yard field goal from Van Winkle in the first quarter. And then on 3rd and 11, an 81-yard touchdown from Browning to Dwayne Washington coming free out of the backfield. Browning turns, fakes the handoff, does a 360, gets across the 5-yard line, and then is pushed back.
broken play. Don't want to make too much out of it. Turned into an absolute disaster. Not on the same page with his back, Dwayne Washington. And see those white jerseys, they just rally. You got a quarterback standing up. Take a chance when you got it. As you see Jeff Lindquist is going to come in for Browning.
Lindquist joined in the backfield by Levon Coleman. He weighs 222. Lindquist working right side, trying to plow ahead, and does near the 3-yard line. So it brings up 3rd and goal.
They put in their heavy set. They pull Coleman Shelton, who started a week ago, left tackle. Jake Strong. Not that strong. Jeff Strong, not that strong. I wouldn't be shocked to see if they use his arm a little bit here on 3rd down.
Lindquist again in a quarterback. 3rd and goal. Will toss left side. Dwayne Washington trying to beat defenders to the far boundary. Can't do it. Devin Centers, the free safety. The junior from Chandler, Arizona, sprints out to cut him off.
Try to utilize the athleticism. That's tough, though, because you know you're going to kick it there. You know, would have loved to see them throw the ball there. Utilize your playmakers. But the beautiful thing about Jeff Link is every time he's come in, it has not been the same type of play. So now everyone who's going to scout when number 5 comes in, they're going to see a variety of the play. From the option we just saw, the power run game, the dive, the inside runs.
Tristan Vizcaino is on to kick the field goal. And he's going to fake it. He's going to run. He's going to get into the end zone. Touchdown, Washington. Cameron Van Winkle, ordinarily the field goal kicker, but they went to Tristan Vizcaino, who had lined up for a 20-yarder. And he sprints into the end zone. Washington on the board with some trickery.
Well, if you follow Chris Peterson in his Boise State reign, or you watch him throughout this season, even their week 1 game against Boise State, they always got a trick play or two in the back pocket. Saw the advantage on the edge. Wide open.
He runs for the touchdown. Vizcaino lines this one up for the extra point, and it sails through. Washington on top of Utah State 17-3 with 4:20 to go in the first half from Seattle.
Yeah, well, the best part of this, he gets antsy. Look at him. His feet are already moving before the snap comes. He's like, oh, I'm going to get the rock. He doesn't get to do this very often in the game. Not really sure how to celebrate, but how about that? You kidding me? That's perfect, man. Vizcaino. Specialists don't get that type of love, and I was wondering when he got up there to kick the field goal, he just kept moving his feet. It's like, man, this guy's not set. He's not going to make this field goal because he saw it. And the way that those plays work is that it's the holder who can call it off. So they look, if he likes the look, Jeff Linkus, remember, is the holder. He leads them on this drive, doesn't convert on the third down, keeps that on and continue this trend in special teams. It's big. Janon Mickens got a punt block, a punt return for a touchdown by Pettis week 1. A couple PATs, field goal blocks. I mean, Chris Peterson's team, they're very young. About 70% of this roster first-year players. They're going to get this thing going because they do such a good job at the intricacies of the game. They're in the right spots defensively. Offensively, they're going to out-scheme you at times. Once they get to continue to develop these players like they did at Boise State, when you add the special team element, trickeration, they'll get this thing rolling.
Vizcaino runs for the touchdown, adds the extra point, and then kicks off deep into the end zone. That's a full day for most guys.
He's got the vote for Special Teams Player of the Week already, I'll tell you that. Put that one on 12 Best on Monday night with Mike Yam and Ashley Adamson.
The sophomore from Chino Hills, California. This drive summary presented now by 76. 13 plays, 63 yards. Time of possession, 6:06. And Vizcaino, the 2-yard touchdown run.
Nothing like that. Because special teams guys, they don't get a lot of love. It's kind of like it's your job to make field goals, your job to hold, your job to make punts. Then you get a tug and start walking around with your chest out a little bit higher.
Well, there's several components to the game, Yogi. You've always told me. Offense, defense, kicking game, special teams. All vitally important. Lawan Hunt gets the call on first down for Utah State. Now they're trying to answer before halftime. Joe Mathis in on the stop. We really like him. 6'2" junior from Ontario, California, up front for Washington. Chucky Keaton. Hobbled, knocked down, but still clicking. On 2nd and 7. Hard rush. Unloads near side to Hunt coming out of the backfield, and he is pushed out of bounds by Keyshawn Bieria.
They've run that play a few times when you watch them back on film, and they've done well in the 2-minute drill settings. Whether it's the end of the second quarter a week ago at Utah or even late in the game, they've been able to move the ball. Some turnovers haven't executed as head coach Matt Wells would have liked when they've gotten down inside the 20. But in this setting, this 2-minute drill, they convert here. Look for them to go 3 wides and roll.
Keaton under center on 3rd and 1, and churning his legs as Lawan Hunt looked like he got the nose of the football across the 35-yard line. Bieria again walls him off.
They call it submarining in the defensive line. So Elijah Qualls, he just dives right at the ankles of the offensive lineman. You teach the guys in the interior defensive line just to get down, get low, try to create some sort of pile when it's 3rd and short.
Chucky Keaton, the now 5th-year senior out of Houston, Texas, with the handoff. And they work it again to Lawan Hunt.
I think for Utah State, this is very similar to the Utah game. They've done good stuff. They just a couple critical plays throughout the game, not executing, getting a touchdown, just getting a field goal. Obviously giving up the big, long touchdown run to Washington earlier on in the ball game.
Wyatt Houston lines up as the up back. Lawan Hunt to the right hip of Chucky Keaton, who will throw. And unwinds and throws a dart across the 50-yard line. Boy, he really let that one go to Hunter Sharp.
Yeah, we talk so much about his grit and resiliency. This guy can play. He can flat out deal, and he's been doing it for a long time. You saw it as a true freshman week 1 when they go to Auburn, almost upset Auburn after they came off a national championship game. You've seen it against Pac-12 caliber teams over the last couple of years when he's been healthy. Good to see him back out in the field and rip that one.
He's 9 of 14 this afternoon. Play action, stumbles to his right, throws it out of bounds. Hard rush applied. Travis Feeney, the senior from Richmond, California.
You know what I love about Chucky Keaton, though, here it comes. Boom. He doesn't flinch. He's kind of like, yeah, you know what, that's all you got? I'm used to this. Here we go, next snap. And really that mentality is carried over in this program from Gary Anderson to Matt Wells and is spread throughout all three phases of this game. And Utah State, they really are a front runner. Picked preseason #2 in the Mountain Division. Excited to watch them progress in that division this season.
4 straight bowl appearances for this school and their program, and they have won the last 3. Zach Van Leeuwen, the intended receiver. That one is thrown out of bounds. Brings up 3rd and 10. Time now for the Cold Hard Facts presented by Coors Light. In fact, Utah State, one of 4 teams at FBS with 30-plus wins, including 3 bowl wins over the last 3 seasons. The others, Oregon, Michigan State, Clemson. High level of success for the Aggies there in Logan, Utah. 3rd and 10 for Keaton and company. Looking long, up the seam, pass complete. This is Sharp. Can he get away? He will! Diving into the end zone. Or was he down at the 1? Down at the goal line. Was Hunter Sharp after the catch and the run.
Big time throw from Chucky Keaton. Pressure in his face. Delivers an absolute rope. Wideout does the rest.
They'll put it at the 1 with 1:24 remaining in the first half. Keaton under center. Full house backfield. They give the call to Hunt. And he's down just inside the 1-yard line. Travis Feeney came up to get low.
Well, the good thing now is Sharp makes the grab, just tries to get lined up.
Utah State into the end zone. Moala, the nose guard, got the call. 300-pounder plows ahead. Moala, wow.
He's fired up. And again, they've done a nice job executing. 2-minute drill again. We've seen it on tape through, last week specifically, the end of the first half against Utah. Here again.
That's their first rushing touchdown of the year, Yogi, and it comes from the nose tackle, David Moala, the senior from Inglewood, California. But it was Sharp who got away, and that pass up the seam on 3rd and long.
Well, here comes pressure right up the middle. Chucky Keaton, he just wears it again, delivers a strike. UW players go for the knockout shot at the safety position. And number 4, he does the absolute rest. I mean, this young man, they've missed him. Right, he was suspended, violation of team rules, first 2 games. Come back today, big kickoff return, big play potential there. Talk to their offensive coordinator, Josh Heupel. He says, look, he's one of the best I've ever seen. Remember, Heupel had been at Oklahoma for so many years, seen so many explosive players. That's a big score, critical score.
It really is. And they've done that, put 10 points now on the board after big plays that the Huskies have posted. So Utah State has stayed in this game down a touchdown with 45 seconds left here in the second period. You can't give enough credit, though, to Azim Victor, who made the shoestring tackle on Hunter Sharp down at the 1-yard line.
And it's big to get points there, because Washington, they're going to get 45 seconds here, and they'll take a run at it here, I think, in their 2-minute drill. But they also get the ball coming out of the half.
They won the toss and they deferred to Utah State. So here's McClatcher now at the 10. Plows ahead across the 25-yard line, and that is where Jake Browning will set up shop, a 19-yard return. Huskies leading by 7.
A lot of times for young quarterbacks, 2-minute drills, that's kind of their home base because it's such a clean picture. You have about 4 to 6 plays in your arsenal in the 2-minute drill based on whether it's a 3-by-1 formation or a 2-by-2 formation. So you just line up and go, and now they've got 2 timeouts. This is what you drill all training camp. You go through it every Thursday and Friday in practice of a normal game week. I'd expect them to see if they can get a couple first downs here and move the ball.
Browning has been good this afternoon, 9 of 12, 178 yards through the air and a touchdown. That 81-yard pass completion to Dwayne Washington. Browning spots a man coming free over the middle to the 40-yard line. Dante Pettis makes the catch, and quickly the Huskies back to the line of scrimmage as they move the chains on a first down.
Great job by Jadon Mickens. He pulled the outside linebacker. That opened it up.
Browning again sets up, double clutches, throws far side, little back shoulder flip over there. Contact made, but no whistle. Braden Lenius, the intended receiver. Deshane Haynes, make that Deshane Hines in coverage. Oh, man. Had a hand right in the face mask as the ball was thrown in the vicinity of Lenius.
I like the play call. Right now, this is 4-down territory here, so you only need to get half. Look out for another check down.
Browning has dealt to 5 different receivers, Yogi. He steps back, hard rush, avoids Green, throws on the run, and throws it out of bounds. Good reaction by the freshman as Torrey Green was closing in on him. 17 seconds left in the half.
And I think if you're Utah State, here specifically in the 2-minute drill and the second half of this ballgame, I think you got to bring more pressure at Jake Browning.
Mickens and Pettis are wide to the near boundary. Dwayne Washington is the lone man in the backfield for the Huskies. They were 4 for 7 in converting on 3rd down, 3rd and 10. 17 seconds left. Browning feels the pressure, throws out here to an area to the near side and out of bounds.
Really nice job by Utah State defensive front. Bringing a variety of pressures, a variety of different angles. Going up against a really young offensive line for UW. Their first 2-minute drill action ever with this group up front.
Well, you got to be very careful here now if you're the Huskies, because Hunter Sharp is back to receive the punt.
And if I'm them, I'm punting this out of bounds.
Sharp has already had a 65-yard kickoff return. Punt hammered into the air. Boy, is that a beauty. Durkee sends it down there, and it checks at the 2-yard line and out of bounds. What a punt that was. Corey Durkee with distance and a plan. 57 yards, and then it checks up.
Just like your golf game, man.
That 64-degree wedge, Durkee. If there is such a thing. And that's where the Aggies take over at the 3.
And I think big picture, if you're the Aggies, you're feeling pretty confident going into the half. You know you gave up a big play on a check down for an 81-yard touchdown earlier to Washington. You know you missed in the red zone for a touchdown. You could have thrown a touchdown earlier. They throw it high. You just got to protect a little bit better. I think you're going to see them get the ball out of the hands of Chucky Keaton even quicker in the second half.
Well, Keaton won't toy with it with 1 second left here. They don't want any missteps, and that will be that. The half ends here in Washington, with the Huskies leading in an interesting ball game. 10 special teams. Washington has given them an advantage here. Browning has been very efficient, Yogi, 10 of 16, and Chucky Keaton 10 of 17. He is yet to.
I'm impressed with Jake Browning, his decision making, be able to throw the ball away and not force anything.
Let's go down to the field, and Lewis Johnson standing by.
Well, Coach, you said that in week 3 you wanted to see more explosive plays on offense. Tell me about that 81-yard touchdown in the first quarter. What did that do for your confidence?
Well, that makes it a lot easier than 3 yards in a cloud of dust. But we're not even getting 3 yards when we're running the ball, so we got to tighten that up.
All right, now defensively, how do you slow down Chucky Keaton in the second half?
Well, I think we've been doing a decent job. We gave them a couple here at the end. They got a couple of those slant routes in there, run into each other, you know, but I think we're doing an okay job. We just can't give them any explosives.
All right, Coach, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Kevin?
Thank you, Lewis. Halfway through, the Washington Huskies at home here at Husky Stadium under the bright sunshine, leading the Aggies of Utah State in the Mountain West 17-10. Stick around. We'll send it back to our State Farm halftime studios in San Francisco in mere moments. Here at Husky Stadium, the Washington Huskies leading the Utah State Aggies 17-10 halfway through Beneath the Sunshine. Lewis Johnson standing by with Matt Wells, the head football coach at Utah State.
Coach, what were your biggest concerns, most important topics at the half?
No, the bottom line is we're in this game. We're good enough to go win it. Now we got to make plays to win it. We got to make a stop, strip, sack, fumble. We got to make a play. We got to break a tackle. We're in it. You know, we got beat by a trick play. We know it's coming. They executed. We didn't stop it. We got to just make plays as this thing goes on. We're right in the game.
All right, Coach. Thanks very much.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Kevin?
Thank you, Lewis. Chris Peterson going into his bag of tricks. First with a flea flicker, Yogi.
Well, when you play Chris Peterson-led teams, you know a trick play is going to come, so you try to prepare for everything. But sometimes you just get lulled to sleep. That happened on the flea flicker. And then here, great recognition. Jeff Link was at the holder, kept the play on, and all of a sudden they get a touchdown after a questionable call on the third down where they ran it with Lindquist at the quarterback. They ran the option. So a nice job by Vizcaino getting to the end zone. Fundamentally, two trick plays. Coach was exactly right. They hurt him. They killed him. You know what? That's the ball game, and that's how Chris Peterson teams play for the most part. They play really sound on both sides, and they can dink and dunk, and all of a sudden, boom, all of a sudden it's trick play. Two big-time plays came out of that.
But Matt Wells is right. After all of that, the smoke clears. Keaton is still on his feet. Hunter Sharp still making some big plays in his first return for Utah State this year. Now they got to kick it back to the Husky. McClatcher in his own end zone. Fair catch, and they'll have a touchback of the ball at the 25-yard line. Jake Browning this afternoon has been very good.
Well, really consistent. I think he's played his most complete game, and that should happen throughout the entire season as he continues to get more and more experience. Throwing the ball away when pressure comes, understanding he's got a young offensive line. Everybody other than his center is a freshman or a sophomore. So just trying to get the ball to his playmakers and allowing playmakers like Washington to make plays when they put the ball in their hands. That will be the difference in this game. Can the receivers make plays? Because I still think this front seven of Utah State is going to get after Jake Browning. They've done it. They've only blitzed him 4 times tonight. He's dropped back 16 times, so not a lot of pressure coming. They're getting there with their front 4.
16 yards rushing net for the Huskies in the first half. I make that 16 carries 9 yards net. Browning back to throw, looking far side. The ball sails over the head of the intended receiver and may have been intercepted, and it was hauled in by Daniel Gray. Gray intercedes, jumps in front of Jadon Mickens, and comes down with a pick. The first play of the second half. There's the big play that Utah State was looking for.
Well, Gray's playing that deep safety, and he just runs all the way over the top. It's like Mickens doesn't realize the ball's even in the air. Not sure if it was the sun or what happened there. And that was kind of an easy interception. And oh, by the way, that's the first turnover for this defense. They've been trying to get after and after and after it. And what a play by Centers.
Yeah, Devin Centers with the interception. Was not Gray, but Centers, the junior from Chandler, Arizona. So that's the turnover that Utah State was looking for. And a quick change to this ball game as Devontae Robinson goes in motion. They give it to Robinson. He looks for some space on the edge and gets none. Instead, he is clobbered over there. Coming up to get him was Corey Littleton. He made the initial stop. Joe Mathis there as well. Well, Keaton this afternoon, 10 of 17, 114 yards, 60 touchdowns in his career and holding. Ties a school record set by Jose Fuentes. Browning throws his first pick of the afternoon as Keaton goes back to work here on 2nd and 12. Keaton is hurried and throws this one out of bounds, intending it for Robinson.
Pressure just comes right in his face. You can see it. Not even close. Got to get rid of the ball as quick as you can. The area makes him get rid of the ball, and he kind of turns away as he throws, and the ball sails. That should have been a completion.
Utah State 50% of converting a third down. They have 3rd and 12 here. Keaton looking, slings it high into the air, and the Huskies get it back with an interception down near the 20-yard line. Kevin King, the junior from San Leandro, California, steps up to make the interception. And a hurry by Tupou up front as he got right into the face of Keaton.
They bring pressure up front. It's been happening all afternoon long. Chucky Keaton just launches one into coverage. Only one receiver, 3 Washington players near the ball. Kevin King, great ball skills, probably the best ball skills out of anyone in that secondary. You got to throw it up at times, see if you guys can make plays. Trading interceptions there.
King, a starter at safety last year, moved to corner. Browning then goes back to work. And on first down, they hand off, and the Huskies go back to the ground, just trying to keep Utah State honest up front. Getting the call, Myles Gaskin. There's a look at King.
That's a big play for Washington. All of a sudden, it's a pick right out of the gates in the third quarter. Momentum, you felt it. We felt it totally shifted. Get the ball back. Get Jake Browning back going again.
And what did Jonathan Smith tell us yesterday about the young man? He says he immediately wants to know what he's done wrong, and then he more often than not will fix the mistake. He hands off to Gaskin. And Myles gets across the 30 to about the 33-yard line.
Well, they got to run the ball. 16 rushing yards in the first half. That's not going to get it done against anybody. And this is a real young offensive line. Playing everyone under the centers in their first or second year in the program. They know they're rebuilding.
Averaging 0.6 yards per carry in the first half, the Huskies have 3rd down and inches now, and they bring in Jeff Lindquist at quarterback. The fake a handoff. He spins and leans forward. And Nick Vigil was the first guy to spin him around.
You see the penetration inside with Jordan Nielsen. Getting some instant penetration. But you keep running those plays because you got to stop them. And if you're only trying to get an inch, it's a 250-pound quarterback against everybody else. And they've done really well other than the drive at the end of the first half down near the red zone.
Huskies earn a first down there. Browning is back in. And no gain here, maybe even a loss of 1 or 2 on the play as Gap. Vigil from Plain City, Utah, the junior. Came into this game with 25 tackles in the last couple of ball games. He's been in on a lot of stuff.
He really defines the defense. Such a blue-collar attitude. Had a chance to talk to him this week. And last couple years, lived with his brother, Zach, who's now in the National Football League. Said he learned so many different things from him, and now he's the guy. He's the guy on defense, setting the tone, setting the tempo.
Huskies on 2nd and 12. Trips to the left of Browning. He eyeballs the trio. He is forced to rush. He's got a man out there to block for him. He throws to the far boundary. That's a first down. Jadon Mickens came back to help out the freshman quarterback. Jake Browning became available at the sideline.
Well, Jadon Mickens does a nice job understanding the scramble drill. He'll slide into the receiver mode. He's going to run a little slot route. You'll see him in a space route. He just sits down, boop, and now away he goes at the top of your screen. And they teach you as a wide receiver, when the quarterback scrambles, you want to turn up the sideline. You do exactly that. You run to the sideline, you turn up it. That was textbook play by Browning and Mickens.
Knew where he had to go, maintained balance, stayed inbounds. And the Huskies on the move. Trying to cut it back was Gaskin, picking his way through there, and that's a gain of 3 or 4 on the play. Well, they'll call it a gain of 5, so that's a very productive first down there for Gaskin. Last week against Sacramento State, 146 yards, including long touchdown run. 3 TDs on the afternoon. Had a 78-yard burst from scrimmage, so it brings up 2nd and 5, and the Huskies have options here. Right up the middle. Pass complete. And into Utah State territory with a first down and much more. Braden Lenius.
Well, they recognize zone coverage. Lenius just gets right behind the backers, finds a spot. This is where Jake Browning thrives. He's good at pure progression throws. When he used to go from 1 to 2, he went outside to his inside receiver, dropped it right over the backers, moved the chains.
Marvin Evans makes the tackle on Lenius. And the Huskies go to work with 9:58 left here in the third. Browning looking for the bundle, looking to the end zone. Touchdown, Washington! Beautifully thrown ball. It was Dwayne Washington with his second TD catch of the afternoon as he blows by Torrey Green on the edge.
Phenomenal job of this coaching staff understanding matchups. It's just vertical routes. They know that the backer is going to be on Washington in man-to-man coverage. He runs right down the seam, doesn't even have to put a move on him, just says, I'm faster than you. I love what Jonathan Smith, the offensive coordinator, called easy touchdown.
Pac-12 football brought to you this afternoon from Seattle, Washington by Barbasol. Washington Huskies lead the Utah State Aggies 24-10 after Jake Browning threw an interception on the first play of the third quarter. The Huskies get it back on an interception by Kevin King on a 3rd and 12 from the Aggies. And then Jake Browning goes to work.
He did a nice job of managing that offense, taking what the defense gave him, and as a pure progression passer, he just had to go through his.
For Washington, 4 catches, 127 yards, 2 touchdowns on the afternoon.
So let's look at that last drive. Jake, the scramble drill. He finds Jadon Mickens on the sideline. That is textbook clinic tape scramble drill. Then Lenius. Okay, that's easy. He runs a slant route, gets behind the linebackers, and then it's a simple matchup issue. The coverage was right from Utah State. The personnel was just wrong for Utah State. The athleticism by Dwayne Washington has shown up in this game. And keep in mind, this young man, not only has he gone off into career-high receptions and yards today, but this is who he was in high school. 66 grabs in high school. One of his unique traits is his ability to be a wide receiver out of the backfield. Jonathan Smith, the offensive coordinator, he's taken advantage of that all season long and specifically today.
Chucky Keaton on play action steps up out of the pocket. He's going to run, and he gets his head down across the 30-yard line. Gain of 5 on the play.
And I'm Utah State now. I'm going at number 4. He's going to be at the top of your screen. Get it to Mr. Hunt. He is the one player on the field that can tilt the field, and when he catches it, can make big plays happen.
Hunter Sharp in tandem, 6-foot senior, has already made a couple of big plays this afternoon. Husky stunt across the front line. Keaton fakes a handoff. That may have been a broken play as he faked the handoff to Lawan Hunt and leans forward. Keyshawn Bieria in on the action. He and Azim Victor have had a lot of action today.
And these two backers are also roommates, Bieria and Victor. I mean, these guys, they know what they have to fill in, right? This is the loss of Shaq Thompson. This is the loss of John Timu. And these two have been ready. They've embraced that role. They are explosive athletes, and we've seen that on stage today.
3rd and 6 for the Aggies. Rodriguez, the man in motion. He works into the slot to the right of Keaton. He is pressured. Finds Rodriguez, makes the catch, but he got walloped and is possibly shy of the first down. There is a flag on the play. Travis Feeney comes up to make the stop, and it looks like the flag's going to be against Utah State.
Pass interference. Offense, number 83. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
And Keaton continues to hobble.
At the bottom of your screen, you'll see a little wheel route. If there isn't pressure, Chucky Keaton might be throwing a touchdown pass to Lawan Hunt. But because of the pressure of this front 7 of UW, it has not allowed Chucky Keaton in this offense to make any real rhythm-type passes.
Keaton did not start the game with a brace on the right knee, as Lewis Johnson reported early in the first half. They went to that brace about midway through the first quarter. Another wobbly punt and excellent field position for the Huskies. Pettis will down it at the Husky 30-yard line with Washington on top, 24-10.
Everybody got a job to do, but you make sure when the Oregon State Beavers take the field, they feel you.
Great job, guys. Hey, you speak to the University of Michigan.
Pac-12 Network's original series, The Drive, returns for its third season, this year featuring unprecedented access to the football programs of Oregon State and Utah. The season premiere Wednesday, September 23rd at 7 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Mountain. The Drive, presented by Lexus. Again, this year, my good friend and compadre Yogi Roth with the inside look on those two programs. Washington on first down goes to the ground. Chico McClatcher is 5'7", a freshman from Federal Way, and the guy is absolutely sculpted. He can take a lick. The young man gets here to the near boundary and very near first down.
Yeah, he's got straight up wheels. You saw it in training camp when we showed up here. And I'm sure UW fans, they're used to seeing that. His mom, Cam Warner, she ran track here. Still top 10 in long jump and the 60-meter hurdle. So a lot of good bloodlines there for McClatcher.
2nd and 1 for Browning. And again, Washington in an envious position. A lot of options here. Fake, bootleg, avoid the rush, throw near side, and the pass complete to Darrell Daniels. Browning really dealing out of 6 different receivers this afternoon.
Well, watch the play fake. Okay, this is an element in high school football and college football that's gone to the wayside to a large degree because of these spread teams. He does an incredible job of sticking the ball out, and they call it closing the closet door if you're at home. He rips the closet door closed. Great job, and that forces the defensive lineman and the safety who blitzed on that play to go down the line of scrimmage. So when he boots out, he's got an area, he's got extra space to make that play. He just completed that ball because of his incredible job in the play action.
And again, Browning fakes the handoff and unloads. Deep ball far sideline. Pass caught and complete. Jadon Mickens makes the catch, and that ball was thrown on a dime. Beautifully done by Browning. On the move to his right, throwing back to his left.
Oh, an incredible job. I mean, you'll see the receivers right here. It's going to be an over route right there. An incredible job by Jake Browning. Again, play action pass, Jadon Mickens. It's like he's running an over route. He bends it back to the sideline. That is an absolute dime piece by the true freshman Jake Browning.
4th catch, 5 targets, 54 yards for Jadon Mickens, the fine senior. Here's a handoff. Surveying is Gaskin and gets across the 30-yard line, a gain of maybe 1 on the play. DeShane Hines and Byron Evans in on the contact for Utah State.
The reason play action pass works because they recognize up in the booth, offensive coordinator Jonathan Smith, pressure's coming and it's coming from the edge. Okay, well, if we can't protect it with a true freshman and a redshirt freshman at both of our tackle spots, then the only way we can beat it is utilizing play action pass. Nice job on those 2 snaps.
Browning has been elusive. He has just been hauled down once for a sack. This time he unloads as he gets hit and completes a pass over the shoulder to Darrell Daniels to the far sideline. And Browning knew he was going to get a lick, Yogi, and still got rid of it.
Coleman Shelton gets beat at the left tackle. And in the quarterback position, sometimes you just got to wear it. And he absolutely did, and again, puts it exactly the only spot he should. And this is what Jake Browning's unique trait is. This is why he's starting as a true freshman, because he can put the ball in unique places on critical downs and distance in chaos. That's a perfect example.
Browning coming off a senior year in high school where he had 91 touchdowns in 1 year, 229 for the career. Here's a direct snap to Lindquist. The big man rumbles inside the 3-yard line. So the Huskies used a little bit of thunder and lightning at quarterback, with Lindquist very definitely being the thunder as he gets down near the 2-yard line. Well, now they bring in lightning. Here comes Browning. So it's 2nd and goal for the Huskies, and the nose of the ball resting down there on the 3-yard line of the Aggies.
And I like them putting him back into the situation. At the end of the first half, they didn't do that. They ran it a couple straight times with Jeff Lindquist. He's got to get accustomed to making throws in tight windows down inside the 5.
Levon Coleman, they fake the handoff to him. They roll Browning out. He eludes 2 defenders. He's on the run. He looks into the end zone. He throws back and across and complete, and a touchdown to Drew Sample. The redshirt freshman from Bellevue gets a look, He grabs it in the end zone, and he's swarmed under by his teammates. Browning likes that one. And why not?
They always say don't throw back across your body, especially in the red zone. But Jake Browning, he's feeling it right now. I mean, he's feeling his vibe. He just drops another dime in there, completes an easy touchdown. What I love about him is swagger came out a little bit too. Talked a little smack to the defense, put his hands in the air, walks to the sideline with that smile on his face.
Sample his first reception of the year and of the career for the redshirt freshman, and it's a beauty, a touchdown in the end zone from Jake Browning, who's having one of those afternoons. Oh yeah.
Welcome back, and there you see the true freshman throwing across his body to Sample. What I love about it is afterwards. Okay, here comes the pressure, away he goes, across his body, thing you're never supposed to do, but when you're vibing, throws a touchdown, and then it's right here. Yeah, oh, by the way, I'm around. I'm not a true freshman anymore. When you meet Jake Browning, I don't even know if he can shave yet. He's baby face, really young kid, but I'll tell you what, he looks like a dude right now, and he's growing right before our eyes.
Utah State's Hunter Sharp knocked down across the 20-yard line. Let's go to San Francisco now for an update from Anthony Herron.
Kevin, this Barbasol game break with the close shave takes us to South Bend, a top 15 matchup. Georgia Tech at Notre Dame. CJ Prosise, a 91-yard touchdown run out in open space, engaging the hip flexors. Prosise had 22 carries, 198 yards to go along with 3 touchdowns. Notre Dame, 30-22 over Georgia Tech.
Nice win for the Irish. Thank you, Anthony. Jake Browning, 17 of 24, 311, 3 touchdowns and interception. At a career high, 3 touchdown passes, 2 of them to the running back, Dwayne Washington. And the third, the redshirt freshman, Drew Sample from nearby Bellevue, Washington. Keaton is rushed. He is flushed and throws on the run, as he has been doing most of the afternoon. The second halves have not been good for Keaton and the Aggies. 9 punts, 5 3-and-outs, and 3 turnovers in 12 possessions. Of course, they have run smack dab into the middle of the Pac-12. Last weekend it was Utah on the road in Salt Lake City.
And Washington's getting there just with their front 3. They're not really bringing anybody extra. Just getting a lot of penetration on the offensive front.
Here is Keaton, throws near side. This is to Sharp, and he is mowed down.
And I'll tell you, we're not on the coaching staff, but you see Chucky Keaton, he just keeps limping. It just looks like it hurts. Keep in mind, he took a shot on his left knee a week ago, has had knee surgery prior with his ACL, has a right knee brace on now. I mean, he's just been getting banged up, and you hope it's nothing serious.
3rd and 8. The Aggies 4 of 10 in third down conversions this afternoon. Keaton is back. Hard rush. Throws on the move. Got hit. Throws and complete to the near side. Chucky Keaton hangs in there like a gamer and finds Dax Raymond open along the near boundary for the first down.
I'll tell you what, he's throwing. He has no base to him when he's making this throw. This is all arm. And he's hobbling. I mean, everywhere he's going, he looks like he's in pain.
Keyshawn Vieira on the move, putting the pressure on Keaton, but a first down nonetheless for the Aggies. They've got to make something happen, trailing by 21 with 3:40 to go here in the third. Keaton will hand off. Lawan Hunt got smacked across the 45-yard line and knocked the cap right off of it.
And look, head coach Matt Wells, he's known Chucky Keaton his entire career. He's been on that staff as an assistant, as the offensive coordinator, now the head coach. But you can't do any zone reads with Chucky Keaton. He just hands it off and he continues to hobble. So that means if you're Washington, he's one-dimensional. You're not worried at all about him running the ball. You're going to bring heat and you're going to the backfield.
2nd and 7. Kennedy Williams, the man in motion, into the slot to the right of Keaton. One man in the backfield, back to throw. Williams had it, juggled it, and then came down with it. They'll rule it a complete pass and a first down for the Aggies. They needed that.
And that's what you got to do. Okay, if Chucky Keaton's going to stay in the game, it's catch and throw, get it out. Catch, throw, get it out. So that means if you're UW, You're bringing 3, their hands are up, and you're playing press coverage across the board, trying to disrupt the time with the long arms of the people in your secondary.
First down for Keaton and company with 4:20 to go here in the third. Sharp, the man in motion. They hand off and go up the middle to Hunt. He's turned away and then knocked down. 3 tacklers converge on Hunt. McIntosh gets there, along with Qualls and Tupou with a push up front.
And the defensive line, they could feel it. They see Chucky Keaton limping around. You don't think number 5, Joe, the defensive end, Joe Mathis, he's not going to take a shot. Nothing malicious, but just get after the quarterback. They're going to pin the ears back. Watch number 5 on this second down come off the edge.
Victor had 11 tackles at half for the Huskies. 2nd and 10. Keaton looking into the sunshine. Hands off. And they are able to push it ahead for a gain of a few there. The quarterback was Hobbs, who stepped in there momentarily for Chucky Keaton. Or was it? Yeah, Damian Hobbs, who's seldom used. In fact, he's a sophomore. They've got another quarterback there by the name of DJ Nelson. They do not want to use they would prefer to use a red shirt on. Kent Myers is the backup quarterback as well. So we may see more of that, Yogi, as this third quarter, now fourth quarter, starts to develop. On a flag thrown as Keaton is back in at quarterback. This is going to be against Utah State.
False start. Offense, number 65. 5-yard penalty. Remains third down.
So it brings up 3rd and long. Keaton continues to run the show in the gun with Hunt. Off his left hip. Keaton adjusts. Hard rush. Unloads. Ball down the field. Caught and complete. Down inside the Husky 15-yard line. What a grab that was by Kennedy Williams. Wow.
And they're going to want to see the other angle. The officials couldn't see if the ball dropped or not, just based on their position on the field. And the sideline of Washington saying, no, the ball dropped. Clearly they're going to review it.
The ruling on the field is a completed catch. The prior play is under further review.
Oh, they may have a case. Absolutely, that looks like a ball was juggled and dropped.
Well, it gets between his legs. Remember, rule the catch, so it's got to be conclusive.
Williams, the junior from Las Vegas, Nevada. Officials are seeing what you're seeing here.
And that's the look that the officials had. I think this one's going to be incomplete.
Yeah, that ball came free onto the field after it went through the legs. Yeah, he brings it straight down to the turf, and then it bounces up.
Yeah. Big play, big throw by Chucky Keaton again.
Absolutely,
he didn't take a huge hit, Kev, but he took a nudge.
He took
another one,
big enough to throw him off balance. And as you mentioned, he's already off balance because the left knee is he's having pain most undoubtedly with the left knee. They had put a brace on it early in the first quarter. And remember, Keaton got off to a terrific start in 2013. 18 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and then the left knee injury where he just tore all the ligaments. It was a near catastrophic injury that he rehabbed from it and actually came back the next year and played in 3 games before they finally shut him down. The left knee was just problematic.
And that was the knee that got hit.
After further review, the pass was incomplete. The ball be placed at the 46-yard line with 11 yards to go.
And that was the same knee that got hit a week ago, right on the kneecap at Utah. And now he's got a knee brace on his right knee, and he completely trusts the staff. They've known him forever, and they know his pain tolerance, and I'm sure there's no structural damage. But he's just grinding through this right now, just hobbling and making throws and making plays, and If anybody can will his team to a comeback, it's going to be this young man.
And remember, Keaton is still 1 touchdown shy of setting the all-time school record. He has 60 TDs and holding. It is 4th and 11. And with 41 seconds to go in the third quarter, Chucky Keaton again goes back to work. If anybody can pull out a miracle, it will be Keaton. Washington throwing numbers from the right side of Keaton. He unloads, has a man across the middle, and the pass complete. Zach Van Leeuwen makes the catch as he slants inwardly toward the 30-yard line. First down for the Aggies.
That is pressure right in his face. He knows it's coming. They do not have enough players on offense to pick all the UW defenders up. They're bringing pressure from the interior line, from the linebacker, and they bring a safety from deep. And he just stands right in there and delivers a strike.
Now, don't doubt this guy. This is Sharp, the man in motion, through the formation. They give it to Hunt, and he is spilled down near the 26-yard line of Washington. As we close in on the beginning of the fourth quarter of play. After 3 complete in Seattle. Jake Browning leading the Washington Huskies to a 21-point lead.
Do this one again. Oh, this is good right here. Thank you. Thanks, guys. Oh, thank you very much. Whatever you guys can say.
Yogi Roth has a birthday tomorrow, but, you know, the Husky cheerleaders we had available today, so we brought them into the booth. And we thank them very much for brightening our day, brightening your day, I know. Happy birthday, partner.
Well, how about that?
Not quite yet, but soon.
Yeah, tomorrow. Surprise, surprise. Up
Very
in the
nice.
booth.
They came all the way up here just for you, up here to the booth.
Oh.
That is charisma, my friend.
I want to thank all you guys for making me really red and embarrassed right there. Appreciate that.
Our producer, David Feldman, up to his old tricks.
Well, we will split this cupcake, though. Everyone up here in the booth.
Most definitely will.
Hey, Yogi, and a big shout out from everybody down here on the sidelines, too. Happy birthday, man.
My man, thank you very much. And only on our birthdays, we could ask for a great game. We got a good one here in the fourth quarter.
We do, as Chucky Keaton begins the fourth period of play. Down 21 points. Don't doubt him. Inside the Husky 30, back to throw, straightens and fires a bullet. But that one ripped out of the hands of Wyatt Houston. And in coverage, I didn't get the number, but he was there and on him immediately. It looked like it was Sidney Jones who got there on Wyatt Houston just as the ball was delivered by Chucky Keaton.
Well, this secondary, they've had to step up. They have not seen Buda Baker for the majority of this ball game.
3rd and 7. Keaton sends Hunt out of the backfield, line up deep to the far side. Keaton is back throwing near side. They go underneath to Sharp, and he is plowed under. That man again, Keyshawn Bierria, leading the committee as Hunter Sharp had his cap taken off.
Well, you can see the tempo changing here for Utah State, but you can also see them changing their offensive approach under offensive coordinator Josh Heupel. They're not doing any of the zone read stuff for obvious reasons. Chucky Keaton, he's not healthy enough to do it. So he's just sitting back there and dealing, and he's having some success finding holes in this Washington defense.
4th and 1. Keaton trying to rally the Aggies. Fakes a handoff, rolls out, hard pressure, tried to flick it ahead. The ball is picked up off the turf. Keyshawn Bierria on the hard rush. Was it ruled an incomplete pass or a fumble?
Complete pass.
Nonetheless, the Huskies take over on downs. And again, Keaton unable to move with full mobility, pressured by the Huskies. Aggies give it up on 4th and 1, and Washington with a 21-point lead. Well, it's time now for the catch of the game presented by Bass Pro Shops.
Well, it's right down the seam, not even hard. Dwayne Washington. Utah State is the right coverage. He's just a better athlete. Runs right by the defender. Perfect ball placement. Beautiful throw and catch.
Dwayne Washington, who's already caught a couple of touchdown passes this afternoon, gallops to the far boundary, and a flag on the play.
Holding offense number 58. 10-yard penalty. Remains first down.
That's Caleb McGarry, the redshirt freshman from nearby Fife, Washington.
I mean, they are so young. Made some changes in this offensive line heading into this game. Starting from the left, Trey Adams, a true freshman, playing left tackle. Andrew Kirkland, the sophomore, playing left guard. Got their captain, Tufunga, playing center, so he's kind of the steady Eddie there. And then up front on the right, they went with redshirt freshman Jesse Sosba and McGarry, the redshirt freshman. So very young on the offensive line, but I'll tell you what, this offensive line is bright in the future.
1st and 20. And Jalen Davis breaks into the backfield and makes a terrific tackle on Miles Gaskin. Davis got in the starting blocks and had a straight line angle right at the ball.
Great anticipation. Clinic tape right there. Want to squeeze the edge. Throw with the legs. Head across. Davis, a talented player. He's playing well.
2nd and 19. Browning through the air, 7 for 7, 2 touchdown passes since he threw an interception to start the 3rd quarter. He set up his middle screen this time, and Dwayne Washington is hit hard at the 15-yard line. LT Filiunga came up to make the stop on Washington. Just buried him.
They got to use the screen game, especially with a young quarterback. Teams are going to get after him. Offensive line, you got to make that block, though. I mean, that's why you release the offensive lineman early. It's easy for Filiunga to make that play, and nobody's on him.
And so Jake Browning with a completion, 8 for 8 since the interception in the 3rd period. He's thrown for 3 touchdown passes already this afternoon, a career high. He goes to work here on 3rd and 15. Browning sets a back foot, delivers, pass complete, ball jarred free, it's loose. It is recovered by Utah State, and a flag is thrown on the play, but the Aggies will have possession of the ball down near the 25-yard line. Lennius made the catch, and then it was popped free. Tyler Floyd ends up grabbing the ball. Floyd, the senior from Orlando, Florida.
No pressure comes. Lennius has it. Clearly a catch.
Hines was able to wrap him up and flick it free into the hands of Floyd. And Dwayne Washington right now down on a knee, and they are attending to him out there.
Personal foul, face mask number 15 on the passing team. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
Well, a penalty on Darrell Daniels, and so it gives Utah State an absolute gift here with 12 minutes remaining in the ball game. Washington, good sight there, hobbles over there under his own power to the sideline. But Chucky Keaton will have the ball back, trailing by 21. Pac-12 football is presented by Barbasol, America's leader for a close, comfortable shave. Now with rust-proof aluminum bottoms. And by Dr. Pepper. Dr. Pepper and college football. It's a one-of-a-kind tradition. Well, let's take a look now at the Heisman Watch presented by Nissan, premier partner of the Heisman Trophy.
Excited to see Cody Kessler tonight. You know, that Stanford game, it's going to be a fun matchup. He's going to see a pro-style 3-4 defense. Excited to watch how he plays. Deshaun Watson played already on Thursday night. And, of course, you got to give love to the running backs. Derrick Henry, he's got a unique one tonight, Ole Miss. Then, of course, Ezekiel Elliott already played today. So, to me, the Heisman is really early. But Cody Kessler tonight, it's a Heisman-esque type moment as they begin Pac-12 play because they really haven't played anybody too difficult early on.
And a lot of eyes on California and Texas beginning shortly. Huskies here at home will have California next weekend. Damian Hobbs is in at quarterback. He is the 6'2 sophomore from Cedar Hill, Texas. Cubs will keep it, and he is stormed under at the line of scrimmage. About the 16-yard line. This is after the Huskies turn the ball over on a catch and then fumble by Brandon Linnaeus.
Now Hobbs transfers from Oregon. Interesting to see him in the ball game. That means they don't think the injury is going to be that severe. They talked to the staff. They said, look, they're trying to redshirt Kent Myers. He played last year. Keep in mind, last year they played 4 quarterbacks. The year before they played 3. A lot of quarterbacks have played, and they've still maintained success with their offensive system.
Keaton is back at quarterback. He fires a bullet in the end zone. It is intercepted by Washington. Huskies pick the second of the afternoon. Brandon Beaver's got it. Does he have enough oxygen to leg it down to the end zone? He's caught by Hunter Sharp down at the 3-yard line. Brandon Beaver with the pick and nearly took it to the house. He goes 97 yards. Beaver pressed into service because Buda Baker got nicked up in the first half.
Easy read. Now watch number 20 the whole way, Kevin King. He's rolling with his boy. He got a chance. Turn around, man. Get a quick little block. He's looking to his right. Doesn't look to his left. He realizes at the last second. Beaver runs out of gas. And he knows it too. Oh, man, I'm sorry. He's apologizing afterwards. But if there's a strength for UW, it's their secondary. They've got some depth. Beaver, an incredible play, steps in for Buda Baker. Been a little nicked up. Kevin King, Darren Gardner played well. Sidney Jones, we've called his name a few times tonight.
Utah State will call timeout with 10:42 to go in the ball game. And trailing by 21. Huskies with the pick by Brandon Beaver. 97 yards right to the threshold. Has dropped back to about the 3-yard line. Utah State challenging a call a moment ago as Brandon Beaver picked off a pass, went 97 yards right down to the 3-yard line, then appeared to lose the football, but he was ruled down before he lost the ball on the ground. So the Huskies will have it. They go to Lindquist on first down, and now on second down, Lindquist will stay on a quarterback. Lindquist at 250 pounds. They go power with Dwayne Washington, the lone man in the backfield. Lindquist will roll. Little option, fakes the pitch, but it's picked off. Utah State picks off the pitch. Here they go all the way to the goal line. What a turn of events that was as Jontrell Rockamore steps up, scoops the ball off the turf, and goes 99 yards the other way. How about that?
How the Tide can change. They run option right. Lindquist tries to fake, and then he's going to go, and the ball just gets stripped. A really nice job by the defensive line of Utah State. Rockamore does the rest. Nobody even near him, but you want to talk about the little things. I know we had a good laugh about Beaver's return, but you got to make that block if you're Kevin King. This is a arguably 14-point swing.
Yeah, Lindquist has it stripped down near the goal line. Well, the Aggies hang in there. What did Matt Wells tell Lewis Johnson at halftime? We need a big play. We need a strip. We need a turnover. And they have now gotten it. Washington's lead is at 14. We'll come back with plenty of time left. Rockamore, the freshman redshirt out of McKinney, Texas, picks up a fumble out of the arms of Jeff Lindquist, the Husky backup quarterback, and goes 97 yards. That was on second down at the 3-yard line of Utah State. That was after Brandon Beaver had picked off Chucky Keaton and went 96 yards down the field.
And I'll tell you what, there's one guy in America that can light you up a little bit. It's going to be Chucky Keaton, right? We've seen him do it. You just continue to give them a little life, showing the youth of UW.
Chico McClatcher will take it in his own end zone. And he is knocked down at the 12-yard line. Let's go down, well, down the coast to San Francisco. Anthony Herron standing by.
Kevin, we've got Seth Collins preparing to take the snap from center in Corvallis. They're a few minutes away from kickoff at Oregon State. Those of you watching on Pac-12 Oregon will be leaving this game soon to see San Jose State at Oregon State. We'll bring the rest of you there right after the conclusion at Washington. A reminder that both games can be seen on our Pac-12 Now app and pac-12.com.
Anthony, thanks very much. Washington Huskies leading by 2 touchdowns, 9:42 left fourth quarter. Get possession of the football with Jake Browning to begin things here at his own 13-yard line. They will go to the ground, will the Huskies, to Myles Gaskin, and across the 15, maybe a pickup of 4 or 5 on the play. Seth Collins and Jordan Villeman will be the 2 featured quarterback and receiver tandem today for the Beavers.
Excited to see them in this game. You know, this is a game that they should win. Seth Collins, got to see his growth, his maturity. I think for young quarterbacks, they grow in dramatic fashions early on in the season. We were there week 1. Had a chance to see what they did at Michigan on the road a week ago. Had some brilliant moments and had some very poor moments. So where does he net out? This should be his most complete ball game.
2nd and 6 for the Washington Huskies. Finds a man slammed over the middle, and the pass complete. Good for a big pickup. Isaiah Renfro, true freshman from Los Angeles. Big, strong receiver. Hauls this one down.
They bring pressure right up the middle. Nice job by Jake Browning, recognizing that it's going to be single high, basically man-to-man coverage on the outside. An easy pitch and catch to Renfro. And I think fundamentally, Kevin, Jake Browning's done a nice job of recognizing the types of blitzes that are coming at him. They haven't been a ton today, but when they come, he's seen them, and he's made Utah State pay for the most part.
He has distributed the ball beautifully. 7 different receivers, 345 yards, a career high for this man, Browning. Play action, fakes, lobs it over the middle. Threw that with beautiful touch to Joshua Perkins. Feathers it into the 6'4 senior, complete, and the chains move for a first down near midfield.
If you don't think this is hard, go out in the backyard, stand 10 yards away from somebody and put someone in between you and try to throw over their hands with touch. It's one of the hardest things to do, and when you see high school quarterbacks, it's one of the first drills you do. Does he have the ability to get the ball, what they call up and down, over a defender, into the hands of his receiver? That was an incredible throw.
8 different receivers now have caught a pass from Browning. 347 yards and counting. Drew Sample has caught a touchdown pass this afternoon. The man in motion. They go heavy left side. And on first down, they go to Gaskin. He may have gained a yard on the play.
This young offensive line has held up, but they haven't dominated. You haven't seen them really move the line, get any type of surge up front. And again, it's first or second year players across the board outside of the center position. So it's not as though they're expecting them to dominate, but it's an area of concern as you continue to grow into Pac-12 conference play and try to close this game out.
Jake Browning on 2nd and 10. We'll check with the sideline. Gaskin, the lone man in the backfield. Joshua Perkins lines up as the H-back in the slot to his left. They go to Gaskin. He threads his way up the middle. He's across the 50 and into Utah State territory. Tonight, following the Northern Arizona and number 20 Arizona game, stay tuned for Pac-12 final score. Mike Yam, Lincoln Kennedy, and Nigel Burton will wrap up the entire day of college football with conversations about Jeff Locke leading the Ducks to the win. Vernon Adams took the day off with that broken index finger. And Jared Goff, of course, has been magnificent in this his junior year. And what will they do down in Austin, Texas, the Bears? And of course, next weekend they will be here at Husky Stadium to take on Washington. 3rd and 6 now for Browning. He brings Renfro in motion. Here comes the rush. He steps up. He throws. That one complete. Juggled, but complete. And possibly for a first down is Dante Pettis. And that ball in his fingertips. LT Filianga makes the stop, pushing him out of bounds.
I like this by Browning. Steps up, climbs in the pocket, takes the hit. Austin, or Mr. Pettis, definitely making his dad proud. Former Major League Baseball player.
Good mitts. So under 6 minutes remaining in the ball game. Huskies on top by 14. A reverse. And this is Jadon Mickens. And he plows ahead up near the 36-yard line of Utah State.
Those are the types of runs they're going to have to continue to grow with, just to loosen up the defensive front, loosen up those edge players. And not a huge gain, interesting time for that play, but you go with one of your more trusted players in Jadon Mickens, put the ball in his hands. Haven't really called his name a lot here outside of that drive earlier where they scored a touchdown.
Well, if anything, we know that Chris Peterson's unconventional in terms of time and technique and so forth. So he's thrown a few wrinkles already today at Utah State. 2nd and 5. Browning the handoff. And again, Gaskin picks his way across the line of scrimmage and may have gained a yard on the play. Gain of 1 on the play.
Nick Vigil's quietly had a really solid game at the middle linebacker position here for Utah State and their defensive scheme. Really been around the ball, as a nose for the ball.
Chico McClatcher comes in. He'll line up in the slot on 3rd and 4.
They stem their front. They've been doing that every time Browning looks to the sideline.
Backside pressure. Browning throws on the move. Pass complete to the near side. They're going to rule it incomplete as Quentin Pounds was juggling it on the way down. There's another freshman getting targeted. Brings up 4th down and 4 for Washington.
Well, they go with the naked bootleg. They just go to the off throwing arm of Browning, and he just layers it in there. That's another perfect spot. That had a chance to get picked off by the secondary. Pounds, another true freshman. Those are the plays that you're going to have to make in these critical downs and distances.
What will the Huskies do here on 4th and 4? And a run Browning out there at quarterback. They are 3 for 5 this year in 4th down situation conversions, and a timeout called on the field as Chris Peterson will take a look at his options. This has been a wild second half in terms of turnovers. It began on the first play of the 3rd quarter with a pick. And then Chucky Keaton on the second play after that possession got picked off. And then Brandon Beaver intercepts. He goes 97 yards, but he ran out of wind. Then on 2nd and 1, Lindquist on the option read flips it outside, and it is taken by Rockamore, who rocks the house with a touchdown return for Utah State. So 4 possessions for Utah State, 2 interceptions. Washington 6 possessions, interception, 2 fumbles, 1 return for TD, all in the second half.
And it's unlike these teams, really disciplined teams when you watch them on tape. Just some uncanny turnovers, specifically the Jeff Lindquist one down inside the 5. He knows it. They know it. You put the ball in your hands, you got to hang on to it. That was a change of momentum.
Browning on a hard count, trying to draw Utah State offsides. Can't. Throws the ball on 4th down to the far side. Back shoulder catch, but out of bounds. Pettis made the catch, but was out of bounds. So Utah State will take possession of the football. Down 14 with 4:08 remaining in the 4th quarter. And the very prolific Chucky Keaton at the controls at quarterback. And all against a young Husky defense.
Anthony Herron in our Pac-12 Network studios. Kickoff is moments away at Oregon State. Those of you watching on Pac-12 Oregon will be leaving momentarily to see the start of San Jose State at Oregon State. Pac-12 Oregon viewers can continue watching Utah State at Washington by tuning in to Pac-12 Network, logging into our Pac-12 Now app, or pac-12.com. We'll bring most of you to the Oregon State game right after the conclusion at Washington.
Welcome back to Seattle, Washington with Yogi Roth, Lewis Johnson, Kevin Calabro on hand. 31-17 score Washington. After Washington goes 4 and out, Utah State takes possession of the football. Chucky Keaton now on 2nd down and 6 goes back to work. Keaton has been laboring all afternoon with a right knee. He fakes, he rolls, he gets the required yardage, and then immediately gets to the deck. Utah State moves the chains and a first down near midfield. And again, Keaton, as he has most of the afternoon, drags himself up off the field, favoring a right knee.
Well, he looked as good as he has running the ball here. A quick little fake, sometimes slows down the defense, slowly to get up. This young man, he's just gritted his way through this game.
Hunter Sharp, man in motion to the far side. They give it to Hunt. Slants across the 50-yard line. Kevin King meets him and plows into him. And a gain of maybe 5 or 6 on the play. So it brings up 2nd and short yardage. 2nd and 4. Keaton again will go to Hunt. And again, he works the right side. But there is a flag on the play. This is against Utah State.
False start, offense. All the players weren't set for a full second. 5-yard penalty, main 2nd down.
Or you wonder about Matt Wells and his staff and moving forward this year with quarterback position, because Keaton just doesn't look to be getting any better than he did against Utah last weekend in terms of just his health, the status of that knee. And you got to believe it's not going to get much better. Fakes the handoff, he keeps it, and then is knocked down from behind as he gets across the 50-yard line with 2:36 remaining in this ball game.
I can't believe he's running the ball. I mean, we've seen him on tape. He's hobbling worse than we've seen him. You know, last year at Utah, or last week at Utah, and then obviously throughout this game.
Keaton is back, sets his feet, throws near side to Sharp. And he makes the catch and is just shy of the first down. Sidney Jones came up to get him.
Yeah, I think he might have dropped this ball. See right there, the ball goes down. Yeah. Sidney Jones plays through the whistle, and they get it off.
And a first down, and they hadn't moved the chains yet.
Matt Wells is going off right now because they tried to get this one off.
The rolling on the field was a catch that resulted in a first down.
Now the way that it works, so everybody knows, is if every play is reviewed and they look it up in the booth, and somebody's saying, okay, that's a good play, thumbs up, go to the next snap, or thumbs down. What Utah State's trying to do is, hey, we don't care whether they give you the thumbs up or thumbs down. Let's get a next snap because we know it was on our sideline and that was a drop. It looked as though they got the snap off before the officials blew the whistle, and that's what is frustrating Matt Wells and the offensive staff for Utah State. And I think rightfully so, because I thought they got the snap off.
I did too. But they hadn't moved the chains yet.
Right.
So the replay officials will see what you were seeing at home. And the ball clearly dropped on the turf and incomplete.
The tricky part is here late in the game for the officials is they want to set the ball for the offensive team because they know they're trying to go tempo. But you can't walk away from the ball until everything is set. And the way the officials do it, there's somebody on the sideline that literally gives them a thumbs up, 2 thumbs up, or 2 thumbs down, whether it's going to be reviewed or not, whenever there's a questionable play. Is they're tried this year as an emphasis to keep the pace of play going and not stop and slow down the games as much as it has been in the past.
And Yogi, it seems like it's worked.
No doubt. I think they've done a great job
this year.
You know, this is the first time I've seen it where they kind of might have missed it a little bit. But to your point, the chains weren't even set yet as Utah State tried to get that snap off.
Well, I just now want to make sure they've got the appropriate time posted up on the clock. Washington leading in this one 31-17. The story of the game has been the continued maturation of the true freshman, Jake Browning, who's been very good this afternoon, collecting on 3 touchdown passes, 2 of them to Dwayne Washington and a 3rd to Drew Sample.
I'll tell you, the moment I'm taking away from this game is him on 3rd and 11, twice converting it. Also on the touchdown to Sample, him talking a little smack. You know, and he's a young guy. You know, you got to command that huddle, that locker room, and he has no problem doing it when you talk to the staff. But you need to have moments in games.
After further review, the ruling on the field will be an incomplete pass. The ball will be placed at the 48-yard line. 4th down and 5 yards to go. Timer set the game clock to 2 minutes and 16 seconds.
So Keaton will have one more shot in order to keep Utah State viable in this game. Facing 4th down and 5. Huskies shift their personnel.
How about his performance, number 16? I mean, he's just been gritty all afternoon long.
Joe Mathis, Elijah Qualls up front for the Huskies. They bring a man in motion through the formation. Aggies Chucky Keaton, the 5th-year senior, on 4th down and 5. Long count. Hard rush. Throws on the move. That ball trapped and then dropped incomplete. Huskies will take over, and Keaton is down on the field. Once again chased by Keyshawn Bierria.
And I hope he's done for the night. I mean, he's had a gritty performance. This defense has gotten after number 16.
Timeout on the field.
Beautiful campus here in Seattle, right on the shores of Lake Washington. Seattle, the home of University of Washington. And Alaska Airlines Field at Husky Stadium. Jake Browning's been outstanding today, Yogi. 22 of 31, 368, 3 TDs, and 1 INT.
What I love about it is it really flinched. You know, he's got a lot of pressure. Really young offensive line. We've been talking about it all afternoon. And when it's been a critical down and distance, 3rd down, a 4th down conversion necessary, he's done it. He's been calm, he's been cool, he's been collected. He's been a little fiery at times as well. And I think he's done all the things that this staff had hoped he would do in this jump. And when you look at the narrative of his season, it was big-time show, welcome to college football at Boise State. And then week 2, okay, Sacramento State, we should play well, let's settle in. And now let's put it together in week 3 before we get to conference play. And I think if you're the offensive coordinator, Jonathan Smith, or Coach Peterson, you've got to be excited about his growth. You know the realities of your team. Up front, you're suspect right now and really young. But this young man, he can throw guys open, and his arm can win you a couple games.
Second and 6. Browning to turn, the handoff. It comes to Gaskin, who finally explodes across the middle, and a pickup there to the near 36-yard line. Gain of 12, maybe 13 on the play for Gaskin on the quick hitter. Coming up for Washington, as Yogi mentioned, Jared Goff and company come to town. The Cal Bears with a game against UT Texas in Austin, and then at USC, home against Oregon, and at Stanford.
That's the stretch. You know, that is the stretch right there. And then, oh, here you go, Pac-12 South defending champs, Arizona, Utah. They're coming to town. But the USC one's going to be fun. I mean, obviously, they're getting a ton of hype about that, going up against Steve Sarkisian, the former coach here. But that is a gauntlet for this team. And next week is going to be a critical game for them, in my opinion, to get to the bowls, to get to the postseason and go bowling.
Yeah, this game was important in terms of that long-term bowl availability as well.
And this game had the staff. I mean, every game, every coach says is the most important one. But in the summertime, this coaching staff knew this game against Utah State would not be an easy one. They knew they'd come ready to play. They're very well coached. Both of these staffs have known each other for a long time. And I would say outside of a handful of plays, Utah State, they've played solid throughout the day.
Huskies will let the clock work down on this one, and they come away with a very impressive win over Utah State, a team that's been to 4 consecutive bowls. They've won the last 3. And of course, Chris Peterson once again this afternoon leaning heavily on a number of freshmen, including his freshman quarterback, Jake Browning, who was extraordinary today.
He's a special player. We knew it when he was coming out of high school. We've seen flashes of it today. It was the most complete game for true freshman Jake Browning.
That's Yogi Roth. For Lewis Johnson, Yogi Roth, I'm Kevin Calabro. Our producer, David Feldman. Our director is Tom Satersky. Thanks again to the fine men and women that make it all work here on the Pac-12 Networks from Seattle. That'll do it for us. Stand by. San Jose State, Oregon State, coming up next.